positive, arising as a single state of spontaneous presence, that which is sublime and without rival, the greatest of the great, within which everything without exception is subsumed, is the wholly positive basic space of phenomena. Since everything is united within it, as though under a monarch, it entails mastery over all samsara and nirvana and does not waver at all. Since everything is wholly positive, and not a single thing that is not positive, all things are identical within the wholly positive state, in which there is neither good nor bad. Since everything, whatever is or is not the case, is of the same basic space, all things are identical within the unwavering, spontaneously present state of equalness. The single state from which everything without exception arises is the basic space of phenomena. There is nothing to achieve or to seek within the context in which nothing need be done. Since effort and achievement are not other than their natural state of basic space, whence could effort come? To what achievement could it lead? Since there is no object to seek, nothing to perceive in meditation, no state to achieve, nothing that comes from anywhere else, and no coming or going, there is equalness, dharmakaya. This spontaneous perfection is found within the basic space of the supreme sphere of being. Can you dig it? The precious treasury of the basic space of phenomena, Longchen Rabjam, the context of Dzogchen Ati Yoga. It's a context you really need a master's transmission to fully grasp, to realize, to understand. So we have to have the context, as was recently explained to me. This is Darren Littlejohn. Welcome to the 12-Step Buddhist Podcast, episode 94. Curb your Dharma Ego. What is ego, and how does it affect our practice as Buddhists in recovery? When we practice Dharma, are we taking refuge in our identity, apparently concrete and permanent sense of self, or are we working to let go, to discover our real nature? The same as all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times and the 10 directions. No different. To understand this context in this sense of the teaching, one must find a qualified master and receive detailed instructions on how to overcome samsara without resisting our suffering or our Buddhahood. Listen in as we practice and discuss the how and why of Dharma in recovery, instead of constructing an even more elaborate and sophisticated trap called the Dharma Ego. Well, let me suggest this. What we think of as the ego and what we think of as any term or concept or phenomenon that we describe in terms that are outside of a Dharma context, and we do have to understand how to interpret and relate those ideas into a Dharma context, because everything is context, right? So if we're a being wandering around samsara and we have no idea that that's what's happening and there's nothing we can do about it, we're just stuck in a perpetual cycle. There is no way to get out. If we listen to some teachings, then we can take refuge in the ideas and in the practices. Okay, so in so doing, does it reinforce our ego in such a way that we develop a new super improved mega Dharma ego, on top of our addict ego, right? And let's just look at the term ego from a different perspective. So everyone thinks they know what that means and says they know what it means. And in the 70s and 80s, people really didn't know so much. And now everyone in the world outside of recovery thinks they know a lot about these kind of things. But let's look at it in the Dharma context. And, we know what is Dharma. We've been talking about this for many, many episodes since 2008. We're on the Bodhisattva path only because we understand our condition of suffering. But a being that doesn't have the ability to understand their condition of suffering has no ability to do anything about their condition of suffering, nor would they want to if they were conscious, sentient, and willful, reasoning beings. But those that aren't still suffer, they still feel pain. All right, so ego as multiplicity. What's the root of the multiplicity? The root of the multiplicity is duality. Okay, we go straight to it in the program here in the 12-step Buddhist podcast. I share what it is I do, how I do it. I've been in this path some decades. Here you go. Clean and sober, 12-4-97. Now, ego is multiplicity. I've alluded to it. I'm writing about it. It's something that you can understand intuitively. Just note aspects of self. I've written about this already extensively. It's been around for many years before and is really a bigger and wider lens if you go into internal family systems from Dr. Richard Schwartz. He has excellent books on this and lots of trainings, lots of YouTubes. But the idea basically is there's just a multiplicity, and it comes from the root in Dharma. So, Dr. Schwartz doesn't take it into the root of Dharma, but his psychology, he thinks and feels, and I agree, is in many ways like being a bodhisattva to ourselves, okay? And so I know Dick Schwartz, and I talked to him a little bit, and he's a walking bodhisattva due to his work in the world, right? And this understanding of that we can have of ourselves is a gift from him and from others, So we look at ourselves with compassion from the all points are valid. Every one of these aspects of us has a reason, has a motive, has a purpose, has experiences, has traumas, has hopes and desires, has feelings, is afraid, is alone, is strong, is forceful, is part of the scene, not part of the scene. There's so many you can't even keep track of them. So rather than try to, get confused, understand the root. And if you sit still, assume your Buddha seat. Find your Buddha seat. Hint, it's right where you are in this moment. Unless you're driving, freeze frame, pause, exhale. Hang, linger, notice. Try it now from the base. Inhale, into the belly, into the heart, into the throat. Inhale. Fill it up like a balloon, slower and smoother than I'm breathing, because I'm talking and breathing, so it should sound something like this, you guys. And at the top, I'm inhaling a lot, but my throat is relaxed. It's called an open hold in Yantra Yoga. You can learn about Yantra Yoga. Just Google it, yantrayoga.org, I think it is. Inhale, fill up, like that, nice and full. Exhale with a lot of release. Really let the prana ride out. Let the energy, the vital life force ride out, and the thoughts ride the prana. Okay, now note that you are in the freeze frame. And pause there. Pause when agitated. Pause when calm. Pause when happy. Pause when sad. Pause when attached. Pause when addicted. Notice. Inhale. Let it go. Exhale. You're going to hang in that lingering space there and note the stillness. Note stillness, being. There's no more sense of separateness to the universe. The universe is humming and vibrating. Notice your deep core, innermost self. Inhale. Is it concrete? Does it really exist? Or is it a projection? And you know it is. Exhale, let it go. Let your projections go. Hang in empty, infinite space. Just imagine blue sky. Forever, nothing else. Jump back. Hi. Who's noticing this blue sky? Who's noticing this? Who's trying to meditate? Who's sitting here analyzing? Who's breathing? But don't struggle on that question. Try it for a little bit. Try for a few seconds. Let it go. Exhale. Inhale. Have some effort. Exhale. Abandon all effort. Really listen to Igor Birkin on this. He's got stuff to say on YouTube and also on the podcast website, which is, incidentally, podcast.compassionaterecovery.us. So we have this fortress of ego anyways. And Joko Beck, my original Zen teacher, check her books, Everyday Zen, Nothing Special. She has more stuff around, too. I think they took the recordings and made them available. But, she used to talk about the superstructure, but it all it's the superstructure of like the layers, the skyscraper, that we project as real. But in order to notice it, really get transmission from a qualified Hatha Yoga master, a qualified one, not a Nimrod. Okay? You can email me for references, but you can find Yeshe Namkai. He's alive and teaching. Igor is connected. All these, there's valid and qualified. There are valid and qualified instructors and transmissions available. What I'm sharing with you, I'm passing on. I'm not a qualified lineage holder, only as a practitioner, not as a master. So, you got to get on in that if you want to get on into this, if you understand what we're trying to say. So the Dharma Ego, but either way, even at a sutra level, even at your conventional forest monk, Thai monastery, Burmese, insight, meditation, Dharma punks, however y'all look at it. Chill kind of, restricted way, control your behavior. If you didn't have an initiation from a qualified Vajra master, you're not a tantric practitioner. I don't care what you think. You're full of shit. Shite. Find one, get the transmission, and then practice. But, we can learn about it, and we can try to, get into it a little bit and have the intention to make such a thing happen. They're around. Not so easy in strange places, but in Oregon, in Portland, it was available. Not at all in San Diego. It was, very available in many areas, but you have to seek it out. Anyway, so, we have a superstructure, but we have underneath it just the empty base. Inhale. Find your center. Exhale. Dissolve. Notice. Who is it that feels this? I guarantee you, if you're thinking thoughts and making words and formulating notions and ideas and concepts, you're fantasizing. There's nothing, you're doing nothing. You might as well do something else. You might as well watch sitcoms, which I love to do myself, just to give myself a break and a laugh. There's good writing in the older stuff. Taxi, Cheers. You can't, Modern Family is pretty good. But if you're going to practice, we try to practice in a qualified way, in an authentic way, with authentic motivation. Understand your bodhisattva path. I'm not making a joke about it. There's 37 episodes on that alone. Many episodes on refuge, on bodhicitta. This is it, Dharma practice. Now, if we superimpose another layer of ego, another part of self, another proud, boastful, owning, attached, clutching, grasping, desperate, or brutal, or aggressive, or dominating, or domineering, either way, however passive or aggressive, if we're adding a Dharma layer to our ego identity, then we have a Dharma ego. And the longer we're a practitioner, and then if we start to teach things and explain things, and we go on, and people who are in the passive aspect want to follow someone, so a lot of people will follow anyone, so will a duck. But we're not Dharma ducks. We're real Dharma practitioners with authentic, qualified transmissions from ancient lineages, going back, beginningless. Infinite Buddhas in all dimensions. This scope of awareness goes beyond the conventional looking around and going to your job and eating food and doing your basic essentials. And I live around people who don't have, I haven't been around any Dharma people in a very long time. All right, so people don't have an understanding or a context or a way to even conceptualize or approach a spiritual solution. Most people are not looking for a spiritual solution, are kind of two-dimensional and flatlanders and spiritually flatlanded. Spiritual flatlanders, I guess, and just not ready. There's nothing you can do. You can do blessings. You can do prayers. There's ways to do that. But the Dharma ego is anything that I slap on that says, I exist, this idea, this thought. So here, let's notice things that exist, okay? So you're in a meditation position, something good with your back straight, all right? And you're noticing how you feel. Okay, you got to find total stillness, and that means your eyeballs, that means the back of your tongue, that means your little sinus thingy-majingies, that little kind of thingy back there, the one that you use when we inhale. Exhale. It's like a seed. It's a little at the beginning and a little at the top, but then it's open in the middle and open at the end. It's like a tail of the breath. That's So inhale, straight back. Squeeze your belly in a little bit, tuck your chin, lift your shoulders up and back and down. Draw your sits bones down, seated or cross-legged or half cross-legged or what have you. Not while driving, please. Take your Buddha seat. Suzuki Roshi said it. This is Buddha. Sit right there. This is Buddha. Okay, I don't know what the fuck you're looking for, but this, that hit me like a sledgehammer in like 1991. Chuck C, what you're looking for, you're looking with. The fish, unaware of the swimming in the dimension of water, just not noticing the difference. But we are in this dimension of samsara. We are in this dimension of desire, the desire realm, the realm of attachment, of suffering, of terror, of clinging, of survival. Of course, of gratitude, of blessings, of love, of kisses, of kindness, of sweetness, of peace. But for us addicts, special arts traumatized ones with high ACE scores, as I wrote about in Compassionate Recovery, get it. Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Powell's.com, Walmart.com. Just go into a store and say, hey, I'd like Compassionate Recovery by Darren Littlejohn, author of The 12-Step Buddhist by Simon & Schuster. There you go. Get the book. Read about it. We're talking about all these things. Learn, understand what happens, and then we can kind of repurpose and retrain and capitalize on what we have and our skills and use what we got and use our experiences to evolve, rather than using them as an excuse to be held under no matter what. You're not passive. You don't have to be aggressive, but either way, just notice it. You're noticing yourself. Have an inhale. Notice your energy. Exhale. Notice your feet without moving them, as this is an Eckhart Tolle trick, but without moving your toes or your foot, how do you know it's there? Do that with your whole body. Spend a month on retreat doing that. Find Vipassana people, that's what they do, more or less. You can do the same thing with your energy. Notice in your body with perfect stillness, your eyes are still so your mind can chill. Yes, the podcast is always a practice session. I don't know if you know that or not, but the more you focus single-pointedly, the more you'll understand and be guided and find your way. Find your way. I'm not selling you my way. I'm selling you my books, because they help, and that's my mission. I love to write. I love to share my ideas and research for you and share my journey with you, because it's pretty much decades along here. I got a lot to share. A lot of things you can learn from no matter who you are and where you are. So I really think noticing this capitalization, this clinging, this desire, this just right at the base, you just notice it in your energy. Notice the world, the swirling around of the energy, that maybe where you feel tension. Notice it how it's intermingled with the physical aspect. If you're a yogi, you know this already, but get down in it. Take it deeper. You got to take it deeper, always. You got to take it deeper, but taking it deeper in a relaxed way. Resist nothing, but be careful. Don't break your knee joint or something, Same with your mental joint. Don't snap a gasket trying to meditate. Don't be a Buddha prick, a snooty green on the spiral, if you know Don Beck's spiral dynamics, we think we're evolved, but we're really kind of really childish early in our new stages of, we think we're an adult now. So we think we're ecological, and we think we're such, we recycle, and we go to Whole Foods. We go to yoga, we become a yoga teacher. This is a Dharma ego, but it's not even real Dharma, it's just ego. And when you have a Dharma ego, you're layering on a pride, an arrogance, an aggression, an ownership of the teaching and the practice over someone else in a power trip that you're not even aware you're doing. Because you can't be aware if you don't study and practice and get still and notice shit as it arises. And then you can see, oh, I'm a fucking asshole, man. If you notice from stillness, like where the tension begins, inhale. Find stillness in your deepest heart center. Exhale, let it go, and maintain that awareness. As you exhale, linger. When you breathe in, do so focused. Do so intentioned. Do so caring and compassionate. Notice all your aspects. Notice as the ego manifests, it's all manifesting like a rainbow out of one laser of identification, of separateness, of self and other, of subject object, of a me and a you, of a universe and and an observer of the universe. So the observer is mind, and the universe is the universe. And we can notice it if we get our Buddhahood on. We've got to get down in some deep teachings. I'm not talking, hey, look, you can learn a lot and do a lot of things, but how many lifetimes do you want to spend trying to get Buddha? Do you even know you can get Buddha? Did they even teach that? Look at the teachings. There's a lot of legit qualified stuff for you to understand. So when you get in the real Dharma and then you think you're a king or a queen and you think you're so smart and you understand things, look, I've done all of it. I've done all of it. And the ego, my Dharma ego has destroyed me. That whole structure that I built just collapsed. And God bless it. Let it collapse. Inhale. It's pure empty space and there is no you. Don't push that on yourself. Don't slap yourself in the head with it like a Dharma weapon. But notice that there's a clinging. Notice that there's an experience, a crackling of awareness. There's a thought now, awareness of thought. So we have awareness of body, awareness of energy, awareness of mind. Body, speech, and mind. Om Ahum. Have an inhale. Om teachings just say it, same as all Buddhas, Om Ahum, body, speech, and mind, the three Vajras. Learn about this stuff, pursue it, find qualified teachers. You can listen here and do stuff. Just want you to know, really want things to work, really want to get out of your suffering, you got to understand it, not be a flatlander. You're not a bug that doesn't know there's a difference. You're getting teachings, you're understanding. Okay? You got to get that context, you got to understand. And then when you know the house is burning, then you can do something about it. You can practice your Dharma. But you're not going to be a firefighter going, oh, I'm a fantastic firefighter, look at me. You know, Dharma will humble you, just like recovery humbles you. If you don't think recovery humbles you, talk to anybody with more than 8 years sober. Come on, people. Talk to somebody with 25 years sober, 20 years sober, and see how many times they've hit a wall in sobriety. And those of us who are regulated and non-traumatized, then great, good for you. Need you around, love your energy, totally stabilizing. For the rest of us, you know, who have high ACE scores, you need to understand the multiplicity of cells, the multiplicity of different kind of demons, different parts of us that are at war, trying to do things and take over the main stage and all that. You know, it's like a fucking insurrection. They're like trying to come in for the office, man. They're trying to behead the CEO. And what? Install some kind of Trojan horse, some fake Dharma superstructure. Oh, I'm a Zen. I remember how I thought of myself as a Zen practitioner for so many years. How I thought of myself as a recovering spiritual person for so many years. How I thought of myself as many things for so many years. You gotta just let all conceptions and ideas and notions go. Inhale. Exhale. I'm going to let you go. See you next week. Peace out and namaste.